Okay.
Shut my phone off. You have slides?
Doing that right now.
It is. Hey, look at that, it works. Ready? You good? All right, I guess we'll get started. I am Mike Murray. With me is Allan. We have, I was telling somebody in the hallway, an old friend, that I haven't been this excited about a talk in at least 10 years. Because I get to do a whole lot of businessy talks these days, and I don't really get to do real like 0-day kind of shit anymore. And this is super exciting because I've been working with Allan and his company for a while, and we've been finding some really cool stuff about Android. What's even more fun is we've been telling Google about it, and they've been acting like Microsoft circa 1999. They've been really not caring, which is not the talk that we thought we were going to give at BSides. We thought we were going to talk about Android and its issues, but how Google was being the white knight in security and really helping things out. And so it's exciting to get up here and to talk about Android and its security problems, and to talk about how bad it actually is, and realize that for the first time in at least 10 years that I've been giving a talk, I'm going to be the guy that gets up here and goes, yeah, there's really no hope. You guys don't have a hope of making it better. Because Android is it's blown up. It's completely exploding in the marketplace. You know, the number of devices is growing at an exponential rate. Someone asked me about, and actually while Allan and I were sitting at a table earlier, why wouldn't you be in the PC market? You know, hey Allan, why don't you make PC antivirus? And you got to realize there's no reason to. The number of tablets and phones is completely exploding compared to the number of actual servers and things with Windows on them these days. And it's just going to keep growing year by year. The estimates are showing that the global security market is at $14.4 billion by 2017. Now, Gartner said that, so it's probably made up. But at the same time, it's that kind of global explosion. What was it you said to me earlier about that app store? How much did that app store in China sell for the other day?
1.9 billion.
Yeah, an app store sold for $1.9 billion. Get your head around that. Like, SourceFire sold for that much. It's an app store. All it is a web page that hosts apps for download. It sold for $1.9 billion. Biggest app store in China. And we'll come back to that. And because of this, the malware guys are figuring it out. Because this was the phone that you used in 2007, and this is the phone you use now. Anybody remember when they got a Motorola Razr?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that the coolest phone of all time for like 6 minutes? I loved my Motorola Razr. I was like, it's like this thick. It's the coolest thing ever. And then all of a sudden, my phone was a computer. And I could install apps. And I wasn't doing, what was that thing called? Where you press the number 4 times to get a T? The predictive text thing where you use
T9 word.
T9, thank you. Yes. Suddenly you weren't using T9 anymore. You were using a real keyboard, unless you had moved past BlackBerry. And all of a sudden, your phone is a fertile landscape for things to explode. And of course, as soon as you have a fertile landscape for applications, you have a fertile landscape for malware. Nearly 35% of apps in China secretly steal user data. Yeah, guess what? It's not just in China. Because there's a lot of stealing of user data going on out there. This is what we've discovered recently, is that it's really, really getting ridiculously bad out there. Because there's all these quotes, and I don't know if anybody here is in the media, but the media loves these great quotes. In 3 years, it took 3 years for Android malware to reach where PC malware got in 14 years, in terms of number of discovered pieces of malware. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's the kind of exponential growth that you just can't even consider. I remember in like 1999, there was this statistic that Time Magazine or somebody published that the computer grew more in 7 years than the car had grown in 85. And Android has grown faster in 3 years than the PC grew in 14. It's the speed of pace of change is unbelievable. And it means that the speed of pace of malware is unbelievable. It means that where we're going and things that are happening out there is ridiculous. We are seeing malicious apps do things that took years for PC to get around to. In 1999, there was no such thing as adware. There was no such thing as spyware. And all of a sudden, instantly, as soon as Android malware hits, all these things exist. We're seeing click fraud. We're seeing data stolen. We're seeing all the traditional sort of inappropriate mobile malware, like inappropriate calls to 900 numbers and text to pay services and things like that. And it happens over and over and over again at a level that we can't even imagine. To the point that people are writing articles like, is Google helpless? But that makes a huge assumption. It makes an absolutely huge assumption. And the assumption is that Google cares. And I assumed that too. And I know he did as well. In starting his company, I know he assumed Google cared that malware mattered. Sometimes you make an ass out of you and me. Because last week, I helped Allan report 500 pieces of malicious software to Google. And these apps were genuinely malicious. Actually, I had a fun discussion on my Facebook page about these apps. Because what most of these apps do is that they steal info. Well, let me see if I've got the right phone here. Yeah, that's right. Do I have it on this one? Hey, Alan, toss me the other phone. Oh, no, wait, got it. Yeah, I did just send my location to a site in China. Yes, the application is called iFart. It's a fart noise generator. That's what it does. Also, when you start it, it grabs your cell phone identifier, it grabs all the information about your carrier, it grabs your current location, and it crafts a nice HTTP post request and uploads it there to a site in China. Why does it need to do that? Well, I don't know if you guys noticed. The post request, it's a log. It puts all of the information about you, your phone, your carrier, your patch level, everything else about you into a log file and uploads it to the Rui, can you pronounce? You're better at this than I am. Ruijing Technology Limited in Beijing. And so we reported it to Google. They said this wasn't a violation of their terms of service. This was completely okay. Because the log file didn't matter. What's funny to me, and as somebody who's been in the security community for a long time, watching everyone freak out about the NSA having information like this and lose their minds about privacy. 2 years ago, everyone was losing their minds about people posting to Foursquare where they were. What people were heckling General Alexander about privacy today. and yet we don't care if any app can upload whatever they want to wherever they want? I'm a little confused. I'm especially confused because when a company hides behind legalese, I get scared. I remember reporting the vulnerabilities to Oracle in the early 2000s and watching them ignore them. I remember reporting vulnerabilities to Microsoft in the 90s and watching them say, it's not a big deal, it's a feature, it's not a bug. And I see the same behavior when someone points me at this and ignores the question when asked if this is really a limited purpose for which the application is allowed to steal your information. And it's not like we picked that one. I mean, we picked that one randomly, mostly. Why did I pick that one? It's a fart app. It's funny. But it wasn't the only one. A Skrillex fan app that steals your IMEI and uploads it via HTTP. A random video game that steals your IMEI and uploads it via HTTP. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apps in the App Store doing things that when you see other articles about malicious software, they call them part of a virus. They call them part of malware. But because it doesn't violate terms of service because it's in a log file, we're good to go. Which I know he thinks is ridiculous, and I think it's ridiculous too. And what this talk was originally going to be about, by the way, is funny. Before we even started this, it's so easy to get malware into the App Store because you just have to put everything in a log file and upload it to everywhere. And you realize this is the sad part. Google's the best of the lot. You start looking at app stores around the world. Google's got, of all the apps that TrustLook analyzed, 3.15% of all the apps are malicious in some way. But the story we were talking about earlier that sold for $1.9 billion was 91 store. 19.7% of apps in a store are malicious. 1 in every 5 apps you download are stealing your stuff and uploading it somewhere. Do you want to tell the story about your friend in New York? Like, I'll tell it. We were talking earlier, and Allan was talking about a friend of his that develops an app in New York. And is it in the Google Play Store?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the Google Play Store. First thing the app does when you start it, it steals all your contacts and sends it back to him so that he has all your contacts. And Allan ran it through his product and said, dude, what the hell? And he said, oh, I didn't know. I just thought it was a good marketing move. Because the app developers don't know any better. You guys have all dealt with software developers. They don't know about security and privacy. You don't expect them to know about security and privacy. And these guys are taking reams of information, but as long as it's not a violation of the terms of service in some way, as long as it narrowly complies to the idea of, oh, it's a log file, it's use data, it's whatever, we can steal whatever we want. So we can write whatever we want. Of course, this wouldn't be a problem. We'll just install AV, and AV will protect us. Yeah, right. The unfortunate part about this is that antivirus for the Android is stuck in about 2001, and that's being generous, maybe 1997. We ran those same 500 apps through Android. We started with the top. We just picked the top 13 for fun. And that's the detection rate of everybody else. It's pretty ugly. A huge number of them, complete zeros across the board. I was amazed. So at least they got SMS Tracker. Anybody ever heard of SMS Tracker? No? It's the coolest app ever. If I steal your phone and I install SMS Tracker, it lets me log into a website and see every SMS, every phone call, and every interesting thing you've ever done on your phone. Really, McAfee? You missed that? Seriously. Come on, guys. Like, how do you miss that? That is the definition of spyware. And if you go to the Google store, it actually says, if you install this on someone else's phone, you can do this. What? At least Symantec and Trend caught it. I mean, I was actually, like, when I looked it down, I was like, okay, everyone's got to get this, right? Like, this is the definition of malicious. But nobody's getting it. Because this software is just, the AV software is literally in 1999. We are back to the old days. It's all signature based. It is all like way back in the old times. If it's not in our signature database, we're done. Unfortunately, this is 2013. It's not like the malware developers for Android are stuck in 1999. We learned about polymorphism back then. We learned how to escape heuristics back then. We learned how to obfuscate behavior back then. And the bad guys still know it. Unfortunately, the malware devs don't. They have not figured it out at all. And because of this, it's kind of ridiculous to watch exactly how bad it is when you start actually installing malware. You can actually, like, it takes all of about 5 minutes to write a piece of malicious code that, you don't have your thing ready, to write a piece of malicious code that actually can A, beat the Google Play Store and get into the app stores, and B, beat all the AV out there. And it's ridiculously easy. To the point that we're going to do it live. Like, it's literally about 15 lines of code to steal whatever piece of data we want. And if we were to write an app that actually had a decent, useful purpose, it would be trivial to get Google to accept it. Because all Google cares about, and any of the app stores, I'm not intentionally picking on Google, they're just the biggest. All these guys care about is, does the app do what it says it does? So if it makes fart noises effectively, it meets the terms of service, no matter what other data it steals. And this is where it gets ridiculous. I mean, we are literally back to that time where companies are hiding behind their terms of service instead of actually looking to protect. And I don't know about you, but I talk to people, I talk to users a lot. Are you ready? Yes. I talk to users a lot. And these guys, I mean, you guys can tell me. When I get an Apple app, I know that Apple's done some decent job of protecting, of at least looking to see that the software is doing the appropriate thing. Google's not doing the same, but people are expecting Google to do the same. And that's the frustrating thing, is that we expect Google to be successful, and they're not being successful, and they're not being helpful in making sure that our software is actually protected.
So, knock it down. Mm-hmm. Okay, I give a quick demo actually. So, yeah, this week we report like 560 malware to Google App Store. I just show you way, how to get around and bypass the detection. You can just there's a lot of malwares, things like that. So this demo is really easy. Okay, you can see there's a couple 10 lines of code. Maybe less than 10 lines. I use a really simple data. A demo app steal your phone number. It could be your picture, your contact, your SMS messages, your account information. This is just your private data. You're the phone number. You don't want to leak your phone number away. So there's a couple of demos. The first demo we use, we grab this app is pretty easy. When you open it, you grab your cell phone number and send it to the external website. So steal it away. That's the first one. So the second one is a little bit hard actually. We try to chunk the cell phone number to several sections, such as we steal the area code the first time. Next time we steal the rest part. Then The third daemon code, the daemon is, I will steal one digit at a time. Such as I steal, if you have San Francisco based phone number, I steal your 415 with your area code. I steal one number. Then the rest of the time I take another TTP session, steal another one. So the fourth daemon is pretty hard, If you still can detect the one digit, I encrypt it. I encrypt your cell phone number using AES encryption algorithm. So yeah, if you still can detect, the last one, the 5 daemon code, I encrypt it multi times. So this demo, I just grab your cell phone number, use the AES encrypt one time, and get the string encrypt again. The 2-layer encryption to see we can bypass your detection or not. So yeah, McMurray already mentioned, if I grab your cell phone number, send to the external server, it pretty much bypass every antivirus vendors, So also it can bypass the Google storage. So you make application directly steal the cell phone number, no one can detect. Yeah, you will get it past all the testing, and then your user will download it. So yeah, so this is the code, So generally, what I do, enable the first test case, I make an APK file. I just disable and enable the second one and make the second APK file. So I got APK files here too. Let's see now, where it is, should be on the. So yeah, I got a file test cases, it's here. So here the web cloud service I used to do analysis, You grab all the APK files, you just upload.
Yeah, that's not on screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check that. Let's see. Yeah. I'm sorry.
There you go.
So let's do that. So this is the trust look in web portal, You grab it, you click it, you select all of them. Actually, let's see. I select all of them. I do upload. So in 5 minutes, maybe in 2 minutes, it will show you, So after you got the binary, you do a deep analysis of each application, to see what kind of behavior it could be, can bring the harmful things, causing the security leak, steal your private data, your pictures, your SMS, This one is just your cell phone number, So let's go back, I don't know. Let's go back to the start, right? Still uploading? Finish
No,
uploading.
upload it. It process started.
Okay. How do I see it? So let's see. Okay. Where's the first one? I cannot see it. Where one?
Yeah, that's one.
This is the first one?
Yeah, do that.
Okay. This is a report, just look at generate, see what happened, After you got a binary, it do a deep analysis of the report. It told you this is pretty risky application, it's called highest risky, So if you see this, where that come from, is from the United States, of course, So this is a general description. I bypass because there's a lot of information included, So I only go through the part related to this talk, So in the risky behavior, you see, it do analysis showed you steal user phone number and using HTTP send it out. It's steal your phone number and send off the device to external servers, So if you go to the detail, it will show you here. I think this one is get your phone number, and okay, here it send the HTTP request. There's include the data, small portion of the data here, and from the description you see, this is not a hello world message. If there's a hello world message, there's no risk. But this one totally is a user private data steal, So you see, steal your phone number and send it using HTTP out. Send it out,
So I just gave you 2 phones. That app's installed. It should be on the front page. I think, Jack, I gave you the one with Lookout. No, it's pull down the top. I think Lookout's installed. And I gave you the one with McAfee installed.
Yes.
Detected?
Everything is okay.
Everything is okay. And you can run a scan. You'll find some sketchy apps on there, because I have a lot of sketchy apps on that phone. But you won't find this one.
Yeah,
Even though we're stealing your information, the current products are not fine. Like this is a stateful inspection of Firewall 1 all over again. This is you know, us going back to 1999 and all these products, they don't do anything. They are signature-based AV. Yeah, exactly. Those are the sketchy apps that are also on there, but not this one. They're not doing anything. They're not detecting. We're stealing important PII. I mean, I'm sorry. To me, your phone number stolen from your phone, that's PII. And nobody noticed.
Yeah, this could be a picture. Well, your really privacy pictures, you know. I get a part of the picture and send it out. So yeah, if you steal the picture, it's hard to detect. If you steal part of the picture, it's really hard to detect. You know. So yeah, here there's a bunch of information I skip. You know, I give you another one, such as some of the code. You know, where. Yeah, I also just the portal reverse all the codes. You know, I found that here's the Java code. You know. And grab your cell phone number and send it out. You know. So yeah, when it got a binary, it just try to do a reverse engineering and then try to give you the Java code proof. You know, there's something still happening. You know. Okay, so yeah, I just skip this one. This is pretty easy, but this already bypass all the antivirus vendors. You know, they cannot detect. This also bypass Google and Amazon detection. You know. If you make an application, upload to the App Store, you bypass them. You can collect. You know. You can use any promotion tool to push it to 10,000 users, collect all their information. You know.
By the way, so when we were looking at those apps, there were a few of those 500 apps that had more than 10 million users. That, I don't know if that scares you guys. That scares the crap out of me. I mean, you know, I promise you, iFart does not have 10 million users. If I remember right, it had between 10 and 50,000 users. And it uploads the last known location to some random server somewhere in China, somewhere. We don't know. We don't know anything about them. I mean, there was a big deal a few months ago when Mandiant found that a whole bunch of APT was going back to one company in China. Really? We don't care about this?
Yeah. Let me go through. Okay. There's okay, this one. Let me regenerate the second case section. So 5. Let's say 3. I don't know. Some of them is just maybe this is the which one? Test 1.
Yeah,
Test 2 still in progress. Let's say generate this one. Test 3. Test 4. Test 4. This test 5. Yeah. It takes like a minute or something to generate the full report. So the reverse code. You have a question?
Talking about reversing code, how are you getting to Java? Are you using existing framework or some still?
You some of the tools, you know. So the tricky part, you know, such as a big application, Facebook, it's really large, you know. After you reverse, it loads to the page takes forever, you know. So the thing I have done is I only nail down the thing that could cause security issues, you know. Such as, you know, you grab the data, when you send it out, it may break security protection, you know. So I nailed down that part, give you the reverse code. I didn't reverse everything, you know. So that's a lot of code, you know. And also for the normal application, maybe not legal, you know. So the only for malicious, you know, for the security risk more than 7, we show you the code. So yes. Anything we got here? We got the test 1. It's a test 5.
Yeah,
the other is still in progress.
Test 5,
Test 5 is even more crazy, you know. You get your private data encrypted using AES for one layer. Then after you got the buffer, you encrypt the second layer, you know. So that's almost past everything, you know. So see, almost no one you can detect. When you grab a data, like a picture, AES encrypted, then again, do it again, you know. Maybe you do it 10 layers, you know. No one can detect. You can do anything. So this one, yeah, it's pretty much show you actually, it's a pretty risky behavior. Besides that, there are a bunch of stuff, you know, AES encryption algorithm you used, you know. I will show you later actually. So here, you grab your cell phone number, doing AES encryption. This is the case, dump the key out. This is the data actually. Then finally it will it will doing the encryption of the data, Finally, they send it out. When it starts send out, there's a message, There's a message here, you can see. This is not a garbage data, This is your real cell phone number. Yeah, maybe translate many times, encrypt 2 layers, 3 layers, And we trace into the every data, it used. When it send off the device, we showed you this is still the data. This is not a normal hello world screen. It's your private data, your pictures maybe, your SMS message, and your credit card information. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much my demo. All the intermediates you still one digit. We can do all the rest. We can do every code one digit, and encryption one time, encryption multi times.
So
yeah,
the funny thing about this, I don't know if were any of you guys in the earlier Android presentation? I actually missed it. But I was talking to those guys in the speaker room earlier, and it was funny because they were actually. Let's see, do I have slides again? Oh, look at that! Wow, that's good. We were talking about it, and they were the earlier Android presentation was like at 11 o'clock. They were talking about the need to go past signature and to really get to the point where we're not doing signature-based analytics anymore. And obviously, that's what we're talking about here. The idea of doing signature-based AV against a modern advanced persistent threat is stupid. There's a reason that we have moved past signatures across the rest of all of our controls. But if we're on Android, for some reason, signature-based AV seems like the idea. And those guys were like, yeah, we should have some heuristics. And I actually showed them some of these reports, and I was like, hey guys, you should see this stuff. And they're like, oh wow, that's kind of exactly what we were talking about. We're just tired of seeing everybody else do crappy work. Really, that's what it comes down to. Allan and I have been in this industry too long. We worked together first 10 years ago, and we've been around forever. And we're tired of watching an entire industry make exactly the same mistakes over and over and over again. The bad guys are way past signature-based AV. Obviously, there's hundreds or thousands of apps in these app stores that are stealing info, that are doing really sketchy things. And nobody seems to care.
Max should be 300,000. The 3% of
yes.
all the apps.
300. I need to drink more if there's 300,000 malicious apps in the App Store. Yeah, because there's what?
That's Google. That's Google.
Yeah, it's 1 million apps now, and we found 3% of them are malicious.
That's the safe thing in the App Store.
Yeah, and that's the best that it gets. Can you imagine? Do you know how many apps are in the Chinese one?
I think maybe 500,000 or something.
And 20% of them are malicious. 19.7. Sorry. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine if 1 in 5 PC apps you downloaded were malware? It's crazy talk, but that's the world that we're living in with these phones. It's insane, and no one cares. And honestly, we didn't expect to get up here. I honestly did not expect to get up here and do this talk and be like, no one cares. I feel really depressed giving that message. But when Google goes, oh hey, it's a logged file, it's cool. What are we doing?
Oh, they're the one cares. Enterprise.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why 70%.
The enterprise cares.
70% of enterprise using iOS.
Right. The enterprise cares, and that's why everyone that I know goes, oh, hell no, we'll use iPads, but we won't use Android. And so, that's our talk. That was what we came here to talk about. Holy shit, it's bad out there. I'm really depressed. I need to go drink more at the bar. And when you start actually reversing these apps, and you start actually figuring out what's happening, it is horribly, horribly uncomfortable to know what crap is on your mobile device. Questions? Go.
What? Oh, so many questions. What do you propose as like an alternative? Like, do you want to go in the iOS route? Would you like to do the completely walled garden
sign up for his beta program? I don't work for TrustLook, by the way. I have my own company. I'm just, Allan and I have been friends forever. His stuff, the stuff that he was just showing you, it's the only thing I've seen that's any good. And I feel like a sales guy saying that. I hate coming to a conference and having like a pitch because I'm not that guy. But what the hell else do you do? It all sucks.
But you're saying upload your own app to that tool.
Yeah.
Heuristics, and you can tell you the app.
Best I got. And it's still, but best thing about that, it's still in beta. It's not even out yet. So, sorry. Sign up for the beta. Good luck, man. I honestly, I've been so depressed about my own phone lately. What were you going to say?
Yeah. Do you think the Android kernel soon will allow users to like check with access rights the users allow the app?
All right, let's be honest. How long you been in this industry? How stupid are users? Users are going to say yes to whatever you ask, right? That's the problem. The problem, and yes, it already does, right? When you install an app, it goes, this app needs access to your phone number and sends text messages and whatever.
Yeah, but
it already does.
But it's like checkboxes that you can choose what the app gets.
Maybe someday. I mean, what do you think?
Now is, Google only displays the first 7 or 8 permissions that will be used. And normally, all the developers, they make things easier. They develop everything. They want to read your application status. They want to monitor your mount file system. They want doing all the SMS, sending and receiving SMS. They want to hook your start your service when your phone is boot. They want everything, So we need a system can make sure what kind of your browser you cannot read my contacts, right? But no one does not.
No, not now. But this was about the future. When you're looking at the discussions on XDA developers and stuff, they really want to have some kind of.
Yeah, Google has a really beautiful framework for the Android. I think it's better than iOS, but it's everyone builds the permission system, So now it's every developer trying to get 20 or 30. You will see some of the security vendors they deserve like more than 40 permissions, And they want to list everything there, even Yahoo and a big vendor such as I cannot mention their name, They're doing the same thing. The developers are lazy. They don't want to make an API call. API call is reject. They want to reserve the permission, even they don't want to use it. They want to reserve it first.
Yeah, so obviously, this is really like a social engineering thing where the user's always going to download if they want it. But for people who are really conscious of security, there is CyanogenMon and the latest Android kernel do have options where you can manually go in and check, do not give them this information. So you can install it, but when it's actually requesting information, it won't return the values. So it's more like a function man in the middle, it won't return the private information. But I mean, this is an issue where you either have to Google us to go, boom, we're not allowing this app, otherwise there's nothing you really can do because most people aren't going to care. And most people aren't going to go and say, oh, my phone number.
But you actually brought up a really good point, and even in this community, hands up for a second. How many of you guys are actually using CyanogenMon? What, like 6 of you in this room? Like, this is the most security-aware community I would bet on the planet. Right? You self-selected to come to a talk about this. You're as good as it gets.
I don't install sketchy apps. Like,
Yeah, that's
Well, but dude, we're not talking about sketchy apps. Some of these have 50. Allan was telling me earlier, what was that app in China? WeChat?
91.
No. Was it WeChat?
WeChat, yeah.
Yeah. So how many millions of users?
Well,
Chinese app, it sounds
It is, but realize this. So Allan was telling me, and I mean, Allan was born in China and understands that market better than this one necessarily. And check this out. This app has replaced text messaging, and it does all of this. I mean, we're not talking about necessarily just like iFart, and it's a silly choice of apps, right? It's the point. But I mean, realize lots of apps are doing this, and it's not just the sketchy ones, and that's the hard part, right? There's lots of apps that are stealing this kind of data. I was talking to a friend of mine in the security community the other day, and I was explaining our talk to him. I was like, dude, this is crazy. And he went, well, not really crazy. If I wrote an app, I'd steal all that stuff too and I'd sell it. I went, you're an asshole. And he's, yeah, right. But, I mean, the thing is, it's not just the sketchy apps that are doing it, and that's where it gets weird, right? It's all kinds of apps that are stealing this kind of data. You had a question earlier.
Just wanted to point out that just this past week, Google
4.3.
announced with 4.3 SE Linux built into the device as well as no root. So they're obviously trying to make improvements.
The OS team is definitely making improvements. And you have better insight into this than me. The OS team is definitely getting it. But the OS team and the store team are different.
Yeah.
Right? The store team is their goal is more apps, let's sell more stuff. Which reminds me of Microsoft in 2000.
So I also found a bunch of more than 1,000 applications that you want to root, right? They rise you in your phone when you open the application. Yeah, the developer want to try to find all the ways to get root. When you open the app, they get root. When they get root, all the security framework, Android has defined it bypass it. They can do anything. Install hide in the hidden mode, install applications, stop other service, uninstall applications, and they don't. You never see them. So really large security vendors, they do that. They think that's the only way we can defeat the root virus. Yeah, they have really good excuse to do that, but that's totally a hack. You get around, you bypass all the Android framework design in the past 10 years.
I mean, you guys have been around. How many times do you really need to run SU dash to run your app? Come on. And that's what these apps are doing. I mean, this is Unix. We're all, enough of us are old Unix admins. You don't need to run SU dash to run everything, unless you really want to be sketchy about something.
Do you want to talk about why antivirus vendors will never succeed with client-side antivirus stuff? One, because they'll never receive system-level access unless the OEM is installed in the first place.
Sure.
And also because of CPU issues.
I mean, you talk about CPU issues all the time and how crappy McAfee is.
Yeah, you see, if you grab the security vendors, you will see they're running more than 30 services in your phone. Actually, they have 150 activities, in the application. Yeah, the only thing they do is install, your battery will be sucked, really quick.
Yeah.
So if you see any application have more than 30 services, don't install it.
I'll be honest.
They hook everything, your phone, your message, you're receiving a message, you send out a message. They want to look into everything. Even you mount an SD card, unmount an SD card, they want to get it, You want to download the app, you install the app. They want all the behaviors, And they told you, I want to make you secure. I think, that's their claim.
Honestly,
Send your phone number back as well.
some of them. Actually, there's a blog entry that he hasn't published yet that he passed by me about a big antivirus vendor that's really that acts more like, remember there was, a couple of years ago there was that whole scareware thing, like fake antivirus? It acts more like that than it does a real AV. It's kind of sketchy. To your point, I'm gonna sound like a sales guy again, sorry. His stuff's actually kind of cool because what it really does is just do, crypto hash of the app and check the app up in the cloud, and the cloud does all that stuff. Because if you put that on the client, you're fucked. You can't put that shit on the client. This thing is basically like a 2001 Pentium 4, right? It's not going to be able to do really significant analysis.
That's why it has 2001 AV.
Pretty much. So put the analysis in the cloud where it belongs and be done with it. And do something intelligent. Yes, there's some difficulties with that, but if you do it right, you can solve that. I mean, the beautiful thing about 2013 is we can put a ton of stuff in the cloud. Holy crap! I mean, have you guys used Heroku? Oh my God, that stuff's cool. What are you gonna say?
I got two questions. The first one's actually more of a response to the comment about updating Android. If you're an end user and you're updating Android, sometimes you've got to go through your actual, say for example, your mobile service, whoever they are, AT&T, Verizon.
Yeah.
They don't ship updated hardware.
Not even close.
The hardware you're getting could be 2-3 years old in some cases. So you're basically looking at stuff that's actually not going to be up to date. end users are not buying up-to-date hardware. They're not going to be buying stuff that's going to be up-to-date for another 5 years at this rate. My second question is, do you guys have any speculation as to what's being done with all this data that's being harvested? Where is it being sold? Who's using it?
We just beta actually. We have a lot of data now in the back end, but we don't know how do we release it. So we want to release our lawyer capability, but now that stage, it's too big, We don't want to just. So that's why we cannot disclose all the applications, We want to throw the proper channel to do it,
So to your question, even further about what these people are doing with it, I have no idea, man. I mean, honestly, do you have any idea who that company was that I showed?
The other stuff involved several, not several, many, more than 10 million users in application, Yeah, they are a company, they are raise a lot of money, If Google shut them down, now it's, I don't know. We try to throw the proper channel to pursue them, actually let them fix the things,
Yeah, but, and to that point, I mean, some of these companies are like his friend. They steal this information and they use it for marketing. I mean, honestly, if I was writing an app, I would want to know the geographic position of everyone who used my app, because then I could target ads to places.
Well, I was
things
going
like
to say
that.
that's actually
great.
something as part of the Facebook API, if I recall correctly.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And there's all kinds of uses, but no, because you have no idea who's behind all this crap. There's millions of these apps. I mean, even the 500 we reported to Google, they're across the board. We have no idea what they're doing. Honestly, I'm more scared of that than I am of the NSA. At least honestly, Keith Alexander showed up. We could have talked to him this morning. I have no idea who these 500 people are. And they're doing crazy shit with all kinds of my info, and I have no idea what they're going to do with it.
So you showed 3 antivirus vendors and how they performed.
Yeah.
Have you? Was the only 3 you have checked?
No, we just picked those 3. We did.
Yeah. So which one was the best of the ones that you checked?
Norton.
Oh.
Norton was the best.
So-
We did them, against a bunch of those, we did them all on a bunch of these phones. It got to the point where it was embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing. Norton actually did better than anybody else that I saw. Do you agree with that? Norton was the best I saw. Did you see anybody else?
And for the price stuff, the thing I show you, the 5 test cases no one can catch.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the Norton and Maxic, they have a malware database. They will detect and cover all the samples they had. So they know, only they know. All the rest they didn't know, they assume it's goodwill.
Yeah. They have the biggest database that we
We pretty much run the time, last question,
Yeah, we're getting the flag back there.
Yeah.
Last
Last
one.
question.
Go for it.
What do you guys do about false positives? Like, do you make a distinction between apps that are legitimately submitting data that I would expect, maybe uploading a photo, as opposed to apps that sneakily do this?
We didn't, the thing we show here, we didn't do any assumption. We didn't click any user agreement. The thing we show you is by default, you open the app, what will happen? So
No interaction.
So we didn't show you our assumption. It's a fact. The score we show is the thing we already saw actually. There's no false positive. The score is based on what we saw, the fact.
And so you know what? To be honest, there will be a false positive or two. I mean, let's be honest. His product's in beta.
Yeah.
They're still working on it. It's not perfect, which is one of the reasons, as he said, that the lawyers don't want us to be going like, "Hey, 500 apps, everybody run away from these," because it's not perfect. But guess what? If you start really looking at you know what? Send him an email, or send me an email. I'll make sure he does it. Send you. You pick an app out of that 500. I'll send you the report for it, and you tell me it's not doing sketchy crap. I looked at a ton of those, and I went. There were only 2 that I remember that I went, this might be a false positive. Most of them were like, I'm sorry, why does the iFart app need my location? It does not need to know exactly where I was when I made a fart noise. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And it was that kind of egregiousness. That's not a false positive. That's just BS. And, unfortunately, it fits within the terms of service, and it fits within what's okay for somebody else. It needs to stop. It needs to get fixed. And that's really, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like so ranty about it, but I remember what it was like reporting stuff to Oracle in 2001 when they would be assholes about it. And to see somebody do this in 2013 is complete bullshit, would be my answer, rantily. Sorry. All right, I think we just got waved. If you guys have questions, come talk to us. We're here. Find this stuff. It's awesome.